there, Star Wars fans, and welcome back to another RebelScum.com video. And today I am here with David Edmondson-san.
Nailed it.
From Bandai.
That's right.
We are here. Obviously, we're standing in front of the beautiful Tamashii Nations Vader. I have a Vader much like it in my collection. I had to start right here. Like I was saying before our interview, I'm a little biased. This is my favorite thing that Bandai does with Star Wars. From the first time I saw one, I was like, is that a real thing? Oh, it is a real thing. And it's a fully articulated action figure.
Yep.
And it looks just so cool. I was like, all right. And I started collecting them, like a lot of people do.
Yeah, and there's two types of Vaders. So this is the one with the cog on the top, and there's also one that has the Death Star on the top. So that's how you tell the two different Vader Tamashii Nation sizes apart.
Well, there's a few more differences too. Like the other Vader has robot hand versus gloved hand. But yeah, and I love them both though. They're so awesome. It's such a great design. So you were telling me that this is actually a suit.
Yeah, so this is actually a suit of armor. So it's on top of a mannequin. So unlike most of our other statues, which are, all plastic and stuff like that, this is actually a suit of armor that, someone not my size could actually take off of this mannequin and wear. So actually, when we're setting up, I wore the helmet because the helmet's a one-size-fit-all thing. There's not a weight capacity issue on that one.
I'm with you there. But hey, I mean, maybe you and I could apply for Gam Guards whenever the Gam Guard rolls out from this line. I mean,
we'll be the models.
At the very least, we could do that.
Well, you got to have two flanking Boba Fett.
That's right.
1 and 2 right here.
Perfect. So whenever
I know a guy
they
at
start
Bandai.
rolling it out, maybe just give me a call. I'll suit up with you. We'll be right there.
Absolutely, and you got to walk around. You got to be like,
right.
Actually, no. The new Gamorrean guards, they're buff. They're not the dumpy little green pigs.
Hey, hold on now. Don't undersell us. We're working on it. All right.
I got a gym membership.
Right.
I'm working on myself.
Are we using it?
Well, I mean,
when we can. We do our best.
I got to go a certain amount of time. So my wife doesn't say, why don't we use canceling this thing? I'm like, well, I might.
I use it.
Maybe I want to play basketball.
Right.
I shower. I use the sauna.
Right. There's stuff to get out of.
Yeah, you don't have to lift weights or exercise. That's overrated.
So, how long have you been with the brand Bandai, and how long have you been working on Star Wars?
Absolutely. So I've been with Bandai for 4 years. I'm the director of marketing right now. I started as one of their digital marketing managers. Always been a lifelong Star Wars fan. My first movie-going experience was I was 5 years old going to see Return of the Jedi with my aunt and being so mad that we were like 3 minutes late to the movie. 3PO and R2 were already in Jabba's palace, and I'm like, we missed something, Aunt Penny. You ruined my experience. So lifelong Star Wars fan. My son's name's Luke. My dog, who recently passed away, was named Vader. Our new dog is named Kylo Ren. So I am deeply steepled. The wedding cake topper is on my wedding cake. We're Han and Leia. Love Star Wars so much. So when I came to Bandai, we do a lot of anime properties. We do a lot of Gunpla, Gundam stuff. But we also did Star Wars, and I was like, well, I'm your Star Wars guy. So. Well,
and speaking of Gunpla and Gundam stuff, you guys are also known in the Star Wars community for your ship model kits, but also your fully articulated action figure model kits. They're really a sight to behold. I see so many collectors out there who use you guys to fill out their clone ranks or their other trooper ranks because your model kits are phenomenal. Great detail, fully articulated, and very customizable, which I know there's a lot of collectors out there who aren't familiar with Bandai, their model kits. If this is your wake-up call, you need to go start checking them out and seeing if you can pick some up. And they're starting to show up more and more here in the States. You're starting to see them at Targets a lot more.
Yeah, and they scale perfectly if you have your 6-inch figures. Probably not dropping names, but your Black Series, they scale real nice with them. They got great articulation, and it's a fun model kit for you to build. So what I like to do, it's like my moment of zen. I'll pop in like Return of the Jedi or some movie I've seen a million times, and I'll just build a model kit. And you just kind of are focused, and you're hearing the stuff in the background, and it's just a real pleasant way to decompress at the end of the day. None of our model kits need glue. They're all paint and glue free. They'll come right out of the package. You'll have a clone just like it was right out the factory floor. Then it's up to you what you want to do with it. If you want it to be, if I have a first clone, if you want to do a Cody, if you want to do something else, you can always paint and weather it later. But you're going to get that mint, that fresh clone smell the first time you build it, or your trooper smell. So that's where I'm at. I'm not as an experienced a weatherer or a battle damage kind of guy, so most of mine are factory fresh.
All right, well, while we're standing over here looking at the awesome Tamashii stuff, I understand you guys are showcasing some new Tamashii Nations figures, as well as doing a fan vote as to which one's getting released next. Now, I understand they're all getting released at some point, but today the contest is at Celebration. So if you're walking by the Bandai booth at Star Wars Celebration, one thing you want to do is ask them about voting for which figure is next. And the other thing you're going to want to do is pick out your pin that they're going to give you when you get to vote. So
I got Django here.
We both went with Django.
Yeah, we got Django, we got Kylo Ren. We'll show you all of them. We got C-3PO.
Got the Stormtrooper.
And the Snowtrooper is the last one.
Oh, is it that is a snowing.
So yeah, the goal is to make them all. This is which one is your favorite. We can't legally say next just in case something happens and everyone gets mad at us that I voted for Akbar, which you all should vote for Akbar because he is the best. So we have 5 to vote on.
I voted for IG-11.
What?
I did. I voted for I'm sorry. I voted for IG-11. We have a lot of Bobas. We got a lot of troopers. I wanted to see IG-11 next.
Yeah, so you have 5 to vote for. You have the Gamorrean Guard. You have the IG-11. You have a Mandalorian, where he's got little Grogu in his satchel. He's got the Darksaber. You have Admiral Akbar. And why am I blank? And another Remnant Stormtrooper from the Mandalorian.
The Remnant Stormtrooper looks really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, they all look really cool, but the Remnant Stormtrooper is probably the coolest looking Stormtrooper, I think.
Yeah, and 3 of them are brand new to the show. This is the first time we show them off to anyone. Akbar and IG-11 we showed off at New York Comic Con, but they're still in the prototype stage. But like I said, I'm an Akbar guy. I hope Akbar wins. Actually, the creator of the line, the artist, his favorite character is also Admiral Akbar. So it's really, really bad guy heavy. We made all the troopers and Vader and Maul and Phasma.
I thought you said it was bad guy heavy.
Well, I guess it depends on which side you are. If you condone the destruction of Alderaan and the murder of billions of people, that's fine.
Well, I mean, let's be honest here. They turned around and murdered millions of Imperial citizens as well.
It's like a tit for tat.
It was an eye for an eye. But also, there were supposedly, not to get into the politics of it, weapons of mass destruction hidden on Alderaan, as well as rebel synthesizers. It just had to be dealt with.
You sound awful like a separatist right now.
I'm just saying, man, they just had to be dealt with. They were causing problems.
If we were rolling around the fields of Theed, I would stop it. I'd say you sound like a separatist.
Well, how do you feel about sand?
Oh, it's coarse and it's rough and it gets everywhere. Honestly, I really don't like sand as a real life, but
I don't either. Actually, when he said that, I was like, I can relate. I don't like sand either.
Yeah. So I live 2 minutes from the beach, and I never go to the beach. I'm here for the weather.
I like the water. The water part's fine, but it's the sand
if you go
in
from the
between
to the water.
That would be
set.
Great. Right.
Yeah.
Just straight in.
Absolutely. So yeah, if you're at booth 1905 at Celebration, vote. Even if you're not, if you're watching this video, wherever it's going to be posted, YouTube, all the social platforms, show us your vote. Let us know who you want to see next, who's your favorite, and we take all of that stuff. So one of the great things is because we are a Japanese company, we have a direct pipeline to Japan where they're manufacturing and they're creating these toys, and so it gives us the opportunity to give them fan feedback. So that's why conventions are so important. That's why when you're on social media, don't think that you're communicating with like a nameless, faceless, soulless corporation. If you have thoughts, if you have something, you be constructive, obviously. No one likes a bully. But, let us know what you want, what you're looking for. And, that information does get passed on to Tamashii Nations, to Bandai Hobby. All of our brands have a very good relationship with us, and they really want to make sure that they're feeding the fans, because that's what it's all about. Toys are fun. Fans are what feeds toys.
And keep in mind, guys, you guys can discuss this in the forums as well. So make sure you're going to the rebelscum.com forums. And some of these guys at Bandai, I'm not going to name drop anybody, especially not Darth Donkey Punch, are in the forums, and they see your feedback there too. So yeah, give us some good constructive criticism over to Bandai and tell them what you want to see next. Tell them what other troopers you might be excited to see come out in the Tamashii Nations. I don't know why they haven't done a clone trooper yet, but tell them what you're excited to see next. They've done all kinds of awesome suits of armor from all the different stormtroopers. Maybe we'll start getting some other color variants soon, who knows? And I'd love to see clones next, but that kind of feedback needs to be in the forums, needs to be in the comments. Let us know so we can let them know, and let them know so they can get you those more awesome pieces of figures. So let's go show some of those Tamashii Nations off real quick. So right here we have some of the new ones that they're showcasing, as well as some that have already been released, like the First Order set right there. All of those First Order figures have already been released by Bandai. The Kylo, the First Order Stormtrooper, the Captain Phasma, which all look incredible, are out and available. Guys, come out and vote for Akbar. That's one, I've seen pictures of Akbar for a while. That's one that needs to come out. He looks great. The detail on him is awesome. C-3PO.
So 3PO is out. 3PO actually debuted at Star Wars Celebration 2019. And he was actually the first quote-unquote good guy. You know, before that, it was all troopers and Sith and bounty hunters. But he was the first, you know, like I said, quote-unquote bad guy. You know, some people are on different sides of the fence. But he was the first official, you know, person from the Rebel Alliance and the Republic. Everyone else had been either fringe or evil. So, you know, Mandalorian, you know, would be I'd consider our second, you know, hero. We'll say hero. We won't say good guy, bad guy. We'll say hero.
There you go.
Mandalorian was our next hero. And so we did two versions. We had the original Ronin Mandalorian, which was on Premium Bandai, which is our online exclusive web shop.
Yeah, that's one I'm going to have to get at some point. One of these days, I'll track one down.
And then the other one, the Ronin Mandalorian, the Beskar armor, and Grogu, that's what we're selling here. And you can get that, you know, if you go to Amazon.com or whatever your hobby shop of choice is, you can pick that guy up. And these are the other four ones you're voting for. Unfortunately, it's like IG-11 has lost his arm. These are all prototypes, so, you know, things happen. So you got IG-11, you got the Gamorrean Guard, which subjectively, if it wasn't Akbar, would probably be my favorite because it's the most unique.
I was when I was voting today, I was tied between voting for the Gam Guard and IG-11.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just something unique. I could see like someone like army building this. I know they're expensive figures, but it would be cool just to see like an army of Gamorrean guards and stuff like that.
And it needs to be mentioned, it's not shown off in this case right now, but the Gamorrean Guard actually comes with a lot of weapons. For more on that, go see the panel video we did when we talked about the licensing of all kinds of different Star Wars brands. That panel, they showcased the Gam Guard and a lot of its weapons, as well as some of these other characters.
Yeah, and then we have the Ojimbo Mandalorian and Grogu. You got Grogu in the little sack, and he has the Darksaber. And then we have the Remnant Stormtrooper that has the Camtano with the Beskar coins inside. So these are really, really cool. These are super detailed, super articulated. They really are high-end action figures. You know, it's if Star Wars happened in the Edo period of Japan, you know, the 14th century. This is kind of what they would look like. And so I know we've already talked about Akbar a little bit, but you can see these are actually humans. So Akbar, if you look inside his mouth, you can see it's actually a person wearing a mask. So that's like his battle mask, and you can see under his flippers are his actual hands. Those are like claws. So he's kind of like a more feral warrior.
That makes that figure 1,000 times cooler, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And there's one other awesome thing that you guys showcased. Now, this one's not available for order yet, I believe, but this is probably one of the ones I'm very, very excited about. Usually I don't do duplicate characters, but I may have to make an exception for this one because here we have the new upcoming Daimyo Boba Fett. Now, the whole diorama display isn't part of the release. However, if you guys blow up Bandai, show up, do a lot of support, and tell them that you absolutely demand this beautiful Daimyo throne display for your Daimyo Boba Fett, I'm sure maybe a quote-unquote Bandai lab in the future could be the exception.
Sure, we could crowdfund it. We could do a Pulse Lab type clone.
Hey, I'm telling you, man.
I mean,
that would be awesome.
This is an incredible piece. It really, really makes the figure. The figure obviously is really, really cool, but it just, the presentation here, you get a couple Gamorrean guards, you put one on each side.
Right.
I mean, this is a centerpiece of your collection.
I'm telling you, you guys come out with an idea like that, I'm backing it immediately.
Right. Can't wait.
It's got my support.
And if you look behind you, you can see this is kind of today's vote. I think we're on our second sheet for the day.
A second sheet for the day already?
Kind of gives you an idea of, you know, who's winning. Akbar.
Hey, that's right. What's going on, Bill?
And then over here you have kind of the past releases for the movie realization, the Meisho line. You know, you got Maul, you have Vader, Jango, the Shadow Trooper. You know, one of my favorites is the Archer.
I really like the Archer was one that I loved that I never ended up getting.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the Archer and the Spear Trooper, those are both really cool. And what's neat is, you know, it's nice to give the trooper some form of individuality and stuff like that. You know, give them some different weapons. Over here we have, you know, a version of the Sand Trooper, the Snow Trooper, not Snore Trooper. You know, the original Ronin Boba Fett, the Royal Guards, you know, the alternative Vader, and then the original Stormtrooper. So just really, really cool. This line is amazing. It's, like I said, they're so detailed. Once you put them in your hand, it's just like, ugh, need more of these.
All right, and let's switch gears a little bit. Let's talk about some of the other 6-inch scale action figures and thing you got. So you also have another fully articulated line that is not a model kit line. Your a good scale in to go with your other 6-inch scale collectibles. Let's say for example, Black Series, your Figuarts line.
Yeah, so we have a couple Figuarts over here from our Visions line. These were Target exclusives. I know that's kind of a touchy subject for a lot of people, but these are the brother and sister from I believe the 3rd episode of Visions. A lot of people's favorite episode.
And to my knowledge, this is the only action figures of these characters or any characters from Visions so far.
Yeah, so far this is, as far as we know, I don't know if Hasbro's unveiled anything this weekend. They'd be the other people to do it. So this is really the first time we're selling SH Figuarts in America. Typically the Star Wars SH Figuarts are only sold in Japan and Asian countries, just because Hasbro has the master license for action figures. But we were able to get a special consideration because Lucas is really, really heavily involved and heavily loves the Visions, that they want to get more out here. So these are SH Figuarts. These are incredibly detailed action figures. If you've never had a Figuarts, go look at it. We sell a ton for like anime properties and stuff like that. But Figuarts are like probably the pinnacle of action figures. As far as you're never going to find better articulation, more accessories. So for example, both of these come with alternate heads. They all come with alternate arms. They have, she has one with a helmet on and stuff like that. So however you want to display them, you can display them. And then right next to them is also Visions. It's Band Presto. So these are what they're called fixed figures, which are basically statues. But these are also Visions. And so these are also cool. These will be available at Target as well as, your local hobby shops, wherever they're sold. I'm a big fan of the Ronin one, just because the first episode of Visions was probably my favorite. Loved most of them, but the first episode really, really stuck out. The black and white, and also the lightsabers come on, and it's like, woo.
Can you tell us now, is there any plans for getting a Ronin Figuarts figure sometime in the future?
I would not be surprised. There's nothing to announce yet, but being one of the more iconic members of Vision, that and the person that he fought with, your umbrella lightsaber, I imagine that those would be very high on their priority list of SH Figuarts that they'd want to create.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
That was also my favorite episode of the whole series.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't mind the 3rd one. I liked those characters. I thought the designs were cool, but my favorite episode, hands down, was easily the 1st one. Just the aesthetic of it, the action was great. Yeah.
It really just brought it back full circle. Lucas was heavily influenced by Kurosawa, Hidden Fortress, stuff like that. So, it was obvious that, this was a long time coming. I'm surprised it took that long. We've had Star Wars manga and stuff like that, but to have, a real licensed Lucasfilm, approved thing, I'm just surprised it took so long, just because of the heavy inspiration of, Japanese culture and Star Wars.
Right. I mean, I feel this did for Japanese culture and Star Wars what The Mandalorian did for Western culture and Star Wars. It very much revitalized that little pocket of Star Wars that is an integral piece that is sometimes overlooked by fans, but is, a heavy influence on it.
Yeah, you don't realize when you're just watching the pew pew lightsaber, these are very heavily inspired pieces of property. This is not just something that's wholly just unique.
And when it comes to covering the Japanese element and roots that are very ingrained within Star Wars, guys, nobody does it better than Bandai. You gotta come check them out at their booth while you have time over the weekend. And if you weren't here, or if you didn't see this video before then, well, go check them out online. Find wherever you can to get some of these awesome figures and things, because you might not have known about the Tamashii Nations. As popular and as awesome as they are, it's strange how niche they are.
Right, it's definitely if you know type thing, to where fans know, but the general populace is not fully aware of what Bandai does. We do video games, we do toys, we do all the cool stuff, and most people probably play with Bandai or play a Bandai game and don't even realize who we are. So we really want to get it out there. If you want, you can follow us on all our social platforms at Bandai Collect. We're very interactive with the community. We're very much, we want to know what they want. We want to play games with them. We want to have fun with them. This isn't just we post a picture of our newest product and you like or share it. We want to give you engaging content, and we want to make sure that, when you think of Bandai, you think of oh, that's that cool company that interacts with us.
Before we get to building our very own Razor Crest model kit, look at all these fine people over here building their Razor Crests. Before we get to doing that, we're going to go look at some of the other awesome Bandai model kits that they have right over here. So I mentioned it earlier, we talked about it earlier in this video, that a big part of what Bandai does is model kits, Gunpla, and various other things. From Bandai model kit minifigs to Bandai model kit fully articulated 6-inch scale action figures to Bandai model kit mini ships to larger ships. all kinds of awesome stuff right over here on display.
Yeah, and one of the great things about our model kits is they come in different levels. So I mean, so obviously you can see the Razor Crest here. It's one of we call them our vehicle models. They're smaller ones, take you about like 15 to 30 minutes depending on like your skill level. So it's a real great entry grade into it. Next to them we have the 2 different Mandalorians. We have the Beskar armor, and we have the silver coating. And so these ones will probably take you like an hour and a half, 2 hours. But they end up super articulated. They come with a ton of extra accessories, different weapons, different hands, different helmets and stuff like that. And then once you get a little bit into it, you can start getting into some of like the bigger models. So over here, we have our AT-AT. I'm heavily inspired by Kenner. Kenner called it an AT-AT, so I'm going to call it an AT-AT. So we have our AT-AT model kits, the X-Wings. So this X-Wing is in a 1/72nd scale. Then we have the smaller 1/44th scale. So it really depends on what you want to do. The beauty of the Bandai model kits, again, is there's no paint or glue required. They're going to come out. These ones have been weathered for display. They'll come out. So your X-Wing will come out just like that with the yellow and the red and everything like that. But it'll be factory new. So it'll be shiny and gray, but I've never seen a new X-Wing. There's never been a new X-Wing in any of the Star Wars films.
There's the T-70.
It does.
I mean, that's kind of a new X-Wing.
It is. But if you want, to recreate Luke's X-Wing and stuff like that, you got to give it the scoring, you got to give it the battle damage and stuff like that to give it that real.
Sometimes you got to make it swampy.
Yeah, sometimes you got to just dip it in goo and bring it back up. Sometimes you got to bury it on Octu for 20 years,
And then it works.
It's a very versatile ship.
And it's very resilient for being sitting in the ocean, right? And then just, all right, I'm going to pick it up, and you're going to use it.
And it's got like 4 pieces of seaweed on it. I'm like, okay, this is good to go.
It's good to go.
And then you can see the Falcon. The Falcon's a little bit bigger scale. Again, as you just ramp up, you start small, and then you get to the big stuff. So you start at one of the small fighters and work your way up. And then once you get to the very, very end, you get our perfect grade Millennium Falcon, which is back here in the diorama.
Yeah.
That's a 1/72nd scale Millennium Falcon. Had lights up. You can see in the front, we got Han and Chewie, piloting it. It's just a really, really great piece. It's huge. This is something that if most people take, maybe a month or so to build, because you build it parts at a time. The instructions are great. They're color instructions. They give you a great idea of how to do it. But this isn't something you're going to sit down and build all at once. You do like a couple pages and then you take a couple days off, do a couple pages.
I always thought of things like how these awesome Bandai model kits are as, the adult version of Legos. Now, I know there's a lot of adult collecting to Lego now. I mean, like many toy companies, it didn't start that way, but it evolved into that. However, I've always considered things like Bandai model kits with such high level of details and smaller, more intricate parts to be more like doing adult Legos.
Yeah, and I'd say, they're definitely cousins. The Legos are great, and I do Legos all the time, and I love them. But, you're not going to get, like a movie accurate look because you got the nubs and stuff like that. It's more for fun and fun of building. To where this, if you're good at painting, you can make this look just like the movie. You can be from the sequel trilogy. It can be from Han Solo. Here we're escaping Docking Bay 94. So this is Han Solo. You see Han Solo and Chewie in the front. You can make it Rey if you wanted. You can make it Rey and Han, You can do whatever you want. That's the beauty of model kits. It's your model kit to do with what you want. Yours doesn't have to look like this one. If you decide, I don't want it to be red, I want it to be orange. You want to have like a, themed after your favorite sports team. If you're good at painting, airbrushing, weathering, you can do whatever you want with these things. People love to kit bash it. They buy a couple, maybe not a couple of these because they're expensive, but when you get to like the X-Wings and stuff, they'll buy a couple and they'll make like, 8 wings. Instead of an X-Wing, it's like an asterisk. And so that's one of the things that really impressed me most about coming to Bandai is just the creativity of the model builders. So on the Gundam side, we do host something called the Gundam Builders World Cup. And what it is truly a worldwide competition of Gundam builders. And so we represent America because we're in America. And so what we do is we go to all these conventions and we have, thousands of people submit their Gundams. And we have professional judges who grade them, and then the winner from America we send to Japan to compete against the rest of the world. And there's like 20 countries, a lot of the Asian countries, Canada, America, Australia, and so they go to Japan for a couple days, and they have a guy Meijin Kawaguchi, who's like the head Gundam judge in the world, and he'll judge them. And the winner gets to be on display at the Tokyo Gundam base in Japan for a year, and they get amazing trophies, but what's great is the trophies are model kits, so they have to build their own trophies.
That's awesome.
So it's really, really fun. And every year I'm just shocked to see what they build because none of them are just straight building what's out of the kit. They're buying 10 kits, 12 kits. They're spending a year, 2 years building these things. And when they get it, it just blows my mind, just the talent that is in model builders in general. I know it's been going on forever with like military vehicles and stuff like that, but I'm just always at awe with how talented some people are, some crafters, and just how amazing these people are. And I wish I had that skill. Like some of them haven't even been doing that long, and they're just so talented already. To where I've been, dabbling for a couple of years, and I can build the model kit no problem, but just what they do is just next level, and it's just so impressive.
There you go.
Yeah, so Google Gundam Builders World Cup winners and just see what you see. It's spectacular.
Well, David, thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Guys, here in a few moments, we're going to go build our very own Razor Crest. You're going to get to watch me do it super fast because I'm sure we're going to speed that up. And then we're going to review and talk about our little Razor Crest model that we're going to build. And make sure you go check out Bandai, like I said. Come check them out at the booth if you're here at Celebration still. They're going to be here all weekend through Sunday. And if you miss them at this one, well, try to catch them at another convention or catch them at the next Celebration.
Yeah, we go to a lot of conventions a year. Obviously we do your Comic-Cons, your anime expos, things like that. We try to hit as much of the country as we can because we understand there's not just fans in California and New York. So we try to get around. It's not always possible, but we try to do our best to get around. If you can't come to a convention, you go to Bandai.com. That's the best place to find us, or to follow us on social media at Bandai Collect. Except on TikTok, we're at Bandai Official, and TikTok is like, are you guys on TikTok?
I'm not.
Oh man, TikTok is the greatest thing ever. You got to get on TikTok. You're going to be on our TikTok in a little bit.
Am I?
You are.
Okay.
We're going to be doing dances.
Well, I know there's an Order 66 TikTok. I don't know if there's a Rebel Scum one yet, but tag us.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's fun. But yeah, build the model kit. We'll do a reverse time lapse to where it takes longer.
Okay. That'll be funny.
But yeah, thanks for stopping by. Like I said, a huge fan of Rebel Scum.
Thanks for having us.
Been a forum member. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to hold your hand there.
You're fine.
That's how much
you can
I
hold
like
my
Rebel
hand
Scum.
if you like.
I've been a forum member forever. I collect vintage, I collect Akbar and stuff like that. So the community's been a huge help in like finding rare variants. When I ask something like, "Hey, which card back did the Akbar offer sticker come?" It said "Revenge of the Jedi" and stuff like that. And like, oh, it's a 48A and stuff like that. And just the community of Rebel Scum is so helpful. Maybe it's because I haven't asked the stupid question yet. I haven't had any trouble having to activate the flame shields yet. But just everyone is just so nice. And I think maybe it's because we're getting older. They're like, I don't got time to yell at anybody anymore.
Same. I'll see, troublesome posts every so often, or somebody's just being silly or whatever, and I'm like, it's not worth it.
Right.
I don't feel like
you start to type out a reply. You're like,
yeah.
I don't got the energy. In my 20s, I would have typed it out and then just kept hitting refresh to see when they get back to you.
Absolutely.
I'm past that, but been a forum member forever. Love the archive on Rebel Scum, and can't say enough good things about rebelscum.com.
Well, and same likewise with Bandai. Sweet. I've been collecting Bandai stuff for a long time, especially your Star Wars products. And guys, if you're missing out on a lot of this stuff, you're really missing out. Between the Tamashii Nations, between the model figures, between the model ships, there is a lot to be offered from Bandai. Check them out. Get some stuff that you definitely don't have, and build that collection up. Show it off talk about it in the forums. Show it off. Tag us. Tag us when you post stuff. All right, guys, make sure you like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss videos, interviews, and reviews like this one. Go to rebelscumshop.com for all kinds of awesome swag and merch. Like, I'm all swagged out with some of our exclusive pins, one of our patches. This guy got some of our pins. He's not wearing them yet. But he got some of them. Oh, hey, we're wearing the same lanyard too. How about that?
Oh, nice.
I just noticed that. Yeah. Or come swing by the booth, vote on a figure, and get an awesome Tamashii Nations pin. I love these.
Yeah, vote every day, get one of each. Vote for Akbar every single day. You can vote every day once, get all the pins.
Vote for Akbar every day?
Akbar, sure.
Not
catch me when you vote for Akbar, maybe get 2 pins.
Or vote for IG-11 every day, and you might get a pin as well.
You get one from us, and I guess you'll give them one then.
I didn't say that.
That's what I heard.
Guys, stay tuned for more. We'll see you guys later. We'll see you another time. May the Force be with all of you, you Rebel Scum.